with the Eagles offense and Chiefs defense, and you have a lot of interesting things that you saw with the Chiefs defense,
yes.
and Spagnuolo did,
right.
and I think we're going to get into that,
right.
and so that's going to be awesome. But let's start with what Lockdown Corner says to you right here. He goes, how big of a difference is Saquon going to make compared to Miles Sanders, 16 yards that he got in 2022? So everyone's going to talk Super Bowl rematch, they'll look at that last one. A lot of things still apply, a lot of the same characters there, and the Eagles' dominance, big guys, offensive line. The running game and Saquon Barkley as an X factor this time around for Philadelphia.
I mean, first off, it's not comparable, right, compared to Miles Sanders in the first time around. Saquon Barkley's a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Miles Sanders, right, is what, only a year younger or 2 years younger than Saquon Barkley? Excuse me, and he's going to be fighting for his NFL life, basically, here for the rest of his career, the next 2 or 3 years. So it is a huge difference. Saquon Barkley, you saw the first page of my notes. Is this the best big play run team ever? I mean, ever. I'm not saying that lightly. This is me, football historian, who's like obsessed with the sport. I don't know if I've ever seen a team be able to produce 50 and 60 and 40-yard runs at the capacity the Philadelphia Eagles do. Let alone, here's the other thing, too, to lock down CB. Mm-hmm. This O-line, I think, is better now than it was then 2 years ago, right? I just think it's in the run game, it's just a little bit more dominant altogether. And I think there's a little more emphasis as a whole offensive unit on their run game this time around. Last time around, let's not forget, their passing game was pretty damn good too, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where, people were telling me Jalen Hurts was the best quarterback in football, and I'm going, damn, hold on, he's really good, but I'm not ready to go that crazy, right? But it was really an effective part of their offense. So that's what's different about this Super Bowl. That's what's going to be fun to break down as we go along here in this segment, too, is just that the Chiefs are going to have to worry about stopping the run more than they did the first time around, right? Because the Eagles are better at running than the first time around, but lesser at passing. The Chiefs are, I think, probably a little lesser at stopping the run this time around than last time around, right? But not a whole lot worse. And they're certainly going to have to do some things and play some defenses that they're going to have to worry about stopping the run as priority number one.
You are a football historian. Pete is as well, and he reminds me that you were on the Titans with Chris Johnson the year before his CJ2K season.
Right.
And that was a pretty big play run game.
It was up there. It was like, it's definitely one of the few that comes to mind, right? Because CJ was special speed, and if he got a crack or a seam, and I was there the year before he got the 2K, and then the year after he got the 2K, I missed the special season. But yes, he was capable of, there's a crack, or we got the corner sealed, they got the edge sealed, watch out, he's going to turn the corner and see you later. It's him, Adrian Peterson. I feel like there was a few years that were similar to that. Bo Jackson back in the late 80s and all that. Maybe you had some of that feel there, too.
This is like the total package, though.
It is. It's like
Saquon's got all the talent. You got one of the best run-blocking offensive lines ever.
Exactly right. It's all of it. It's the best I can remember, especially from the big play department.
All right, so this is from Nitin Mohan. This is, last year the Chiefs faced a better team with a Hall of Fame-level running back. They will again face a better team with a Hall of Fame-level running back. Christian McCaffrey averaged 3.6 yards per carry, but CMC provided a greater passing threat than Saquon. Do you feel a similar scheme will work better for KC against Philly?
Yes. I think that, honestly, this might cause more problems, really, than even the Shanahan 49ers football team, right? Who, again, had great balance and creativity and do all that. But the Eagles have a certain element here where they can literally just go, if you don't overplay to stop our run, we're going to score a 60-yard touchdown. We're going to rip off 40 yards like that. And as awesome as McCaffrey and the 49ers were all that last year, they couldn't just impose their physical will on you to that capacity. Okay, that's where it's different. Let alone the 49ers receivers they're not on the same level as this Eagles receivers. The 49ers going into that game knew, it's the Chiefs, and you heard me say it the whole time. Right? They're going to have a hard time separating from the Chiefs' corners. The 49ers receivers are not great man-to-man receivers. Well, this is the opposite of that. These are awesome man-to-man receivers. And these are two guys that everybody goes, oh, shit, I don't want to play man-to-man against them. But we don't have a lot of options here because the run game is so good. We're forced into a corner here to do things we don't want to. So as much as maybe there's not the mental gymnastics of dealing with a Shanahan here, there's physical gymnastics that really Kansas City's going to have to deal with. And here's my baseline or banner statement for the Super Bowl as I think about it here the last few days is it's brains versus brawn, right? Not to say that Kansas City doesn't have some brawn on their team, right? But Kansas City's the one that's, hey, we got to do this. Hey, we're creative. We do this on defense. Hey, in offense, we come out with all these cool formations and do all this stuff. And we're going to figure out how to attack your defense. And, as the game goes, we'll adjust to what you're doing, and we'll figure that out too. Where Philly's a little bit like, we're here. We're big. We know what we're going to do. We know what we want to do. You know what we want to do, and it doesn't matter, right? And that's where it's kind of cool. It's NFC brawn versus AFC brains, and it's kind of cool it's shaking out that way.
All right, let's get over to a little bit of the Jalen Hurts stuff here because there were a little brains. You thought maybe when we talked about it on Sunday on the first play of the game, you said maybe for the first time I'm seeing Jalen Hurts up here moving some things around, finding a favorable look on the first play.
Exactly
and
right.
so you've gone through, you've deep dove into the all 22 here. You were saying before the podcast, they don't do a whole bunch of stuff. They're the Eagles. They got the deep voices, like you just said, and they can just run over you. They don't need to be schematically
He
that
literally was like,
interesting.
check. We're running left.
Yeah. So let's take a closer look at that first play, that 60-yard touchdown run.
I think this is a huge element of this football game.
Okay.
This is one of the underlying things that we need to watch out. This was one of the reasons the Eagles lost to the Chiefs in the first Super Bowl. We broke this down thoroughly, right? All the crazy things Spags did, and the Chiefs were the Eagles were kind of like, wait, we did this all year and it worked against every defense, and oh, wait, you're bringing double corner blitzes? Like, we didn't even think that was a possibility, and that's where they need the quarterback to save them. And hopefully they can have a few plays to go, hey, when they play this defense, you gotta get us out of it and save us here, right? And that's going to be a big thing. We've talked about for the last 7 or 8 weeks, they waste plays, right? You hear me say about that all the time. This was awesome because Jalen Hurts was in the shotgun. There was a totally different play called here. And he got up to the line of scrimmage, and as he was getting close to go like Blue 45 said hut, he realized like something went off in his brain. He went, oh, shit, this is the look the coaches have been telling me about all week to get to this special toss play to Saquon. And why does he do it? Well, it's a five-man front, okay? But five-man front, too, where the shade nose is kicked to the weak side, to our right here, right? And then the weak side linebacker, Luvu's on the back side there, kind of there for maybe the quarterback keeping the ball if they stayed in the shotgun formation? But they didn't stay in the shotgun formation. So now he's not only in this formation where he goes, wait, we got basically like almost 4 people to the backside of the center. And if we want to run it left, they're going to be in a tough spot because Bobby Wagner's almost head up with the center as the middle linebacker there. But adding to that, now they're going to motion Devontae Smith across the formation because they know it's man-to-man, and they're going, hey, let's get one more guy out of the way of where we want to run, right? And put one more guy on the weak side of the play where we're going to run over here, and you're going to have 5 or 6 guys totally on the opposite side of the field. Numbers advantage to us. So they get to that, let alone